What's your name?
Hey guys, I'm Sherry, the crazy fan on the other side of the fence from So, when we're watching at home, we kind of felt like there was a big shift in the team dynamics and the enthusiasm from the team kind of when it looked like you were starting to make a run for the postseason. How did that feel for you guys?
Do you feel a shift from the bench as well?
Yeah, I think that shift even started in spring training. I think that was the emphasis of Alex in the offseason, was to bring in high character people, high character teammates, and he did a tremendous job with that this year. And for a lot of guys that had been there in years past, especially last year when we were in first place right around the All-Star break, and we're just begging for the front office to make moves to, really put us over the top and really show us that organization was behind us and they really wanted us to win. And when we didn't make any moves at the All-Star break, it was definitely a little bit of a letdown, and the season kind of fell apart after that. But with the moves they were able to bring in, anytime you can add superstars to your team like Tulowitzki and Price, you know you're going to be a better team. And the additions of guys like Mark Lowe and Detroit and Pennington, just all tremendous teammates, and that was kind of the push the players needed to really finish strong, knowing that organization was willing to do whatever they could do to help us win. And obviously, with winning breeds chemistry, and we were able to win and really able to get along with each other. And the tough part about baseball is when the season's over, you realize that more than likely you're not going to play with the same group of 25 guys, and that was the hardest part about having the year end, was knowing that that was probably the last time that group of 25 guys would be in the same room.
I just got a Twitter question from somebody who wants to know, can Canadians catch a baseball from @Harold Reynolds?
I was on Hot Stove on Friday, you know that, right?
I saw that.
Harold. And the whole time, all he wanted to talk about was how scared he is to come to Canada. And I was like, Harold, listen, I'll defend you, but you can't mess with my people up there. I'm like a de facto Canadian now.
I had to remind Harold that he actually played professionally in Calgary for 2 years. He's like, oh yeah!
Hey guys, just to follow up on the last question, you guys did look like you had a great time on the bench this year. That was pretty obvious. Who on the team, on the club, is the biggest smartass, the biggest prankster? And secondly, can you allude to one of his best pranks?
I think smartass and prankster are two completely different things, by the way. Smartass Donaldson, 100,000%. Like, this guy will bury you on a Tuesday for no reason. He'll just walk in and tell you you're the worst player in America or Canada or whatever, and then try to motivate you or whatever. But he's the man. He's our guy. Like, literally, he'll just. You wore KP about some base running stuff this year. You remember Seattle? He got you. But that's what he does. Like, I was sitting on the couch one day and he came in and he's like, "You gonna try to get better today or what?" Relax. I mean, that's part of his thing. Prank, like, what do you got on prankster? I don't know. Like, everybody's kind of like, I don't know.
Kevin, do you agree? You agree with
Donaldson? Yeah,
Donaldson?
Absolutely. He's definitely a loose cannon. He is exactly the person you see on the field, off the field, maybe probably worse.
Yeah, just think about what his haircut looked like. That's his personality.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as pranksters, I wouldn't say there was not a whole lot of pranks going on, but the nice thing about this team was whether it was your first day up, you'd been part of this team for 2 weeks, or you were Mark Burley, been in the league for 19 years, no one was safe to ridicules and jokes and being made fun of, and that's what kept us together and kept things loose, especially through the postseason.
Hayden Adams has a question. What do you got?
This question's for both of you. What was the toughest pitcher you faced this season?
Chris Archer.
Kevin. Chris Archer, that was quick.
Archer.
Toughest fit pitcher in the face.
Always.
My microphone's still on? Anybody hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Juris Familia, the closer for the Mets. I hate him.
Any other pitchers you hate, quote unquote? Because there's one I hate, he pitches for Kansas City, but I think you know what I'm talking about.
Johnny.
I think he doesn't like Ventura more than he doesn't like Cueto.
Shane Dawson, you got a question? You can think of one and I'll come back to you. All right. Questions on this side of the room. I came over to this side of the room because everybody from that side of the room had a question. So here we go. What's your name?
My name's Will. It's kind of for all three. The 7th inning against Texas in Game 5, was that the craziest inning of baseball you guys ever had?
I had to change my underwear after that inning was over.
Me too.
That was unbelievable.
Yes. That's my answer, yes. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Thanks, because a lot of us had to work till about 4:30, so you guys managed to delay the game there and probably run an extra hour, so we got home and watched the end of it. So.
Yeah, well,
We made it
looking out for you.
Yeah. Trying to get those ratings up.
Hey, I got a question, and don't injure yourselves doing that, but can you guys replicate the I just hit a home run and I see Kevin Pillar in the dugout thing?
Yeah, when we get off the stage.
Okay, yeah, I don't,
Walk it
yeah.
off the stage with that.
Questions, here we go, center of the room.
Have a bush party! Kawasaki's not.
Rudy's here. Question here.
Yeah, this is for Kevin. When you're flying through the air catching those balls, are you thinking anything other than, oh boy, this is going to hurt?
To be honest, no. That never really goes through my mind. I really enjoy playing baseball. I really enjoy playing defense. I consider myself an athlete before a baseball player, and I just grew up playing all the sports. So to me, going after a fly ball is no different than the way I treated going after a pass in football. And you know you're going to hit the ground, or you know you're going to hit the wall, and the best thing you can do for yourself is just hold on to the ball, because regardless it's going to hurt, but you might as well get rewarded for it.
Hey guys, Dutch Iannetti has a question.
Hey guys, any chance of getting one more picture?
Yeah.
We got a preface for everybody else that's in the room that wasn't with Dutch and us this morning, because we've said that like 15 times. So we walked around the whole, what's the complex called that we were at?
McDonald Island.
McDonald Island.
Great complex.
And literally, like, you know, there's people in there everywhere taking pictures. So like we go in the office at one point, and there's probably like 10 or 15 people in there, and like 4 of them get in the picture, and we're like, oh great. And Dutch is like, no, the next guy, get in the picture. So one person would come in, he's like, hey, you, get in the picture. So we'd get done the pictures, and by the end, he had called every person individually, and I was like, well, why didn't we just get everybody the first time? So Dutch is leading the league in pictures today. Thank you for that.
Mr. Kubasek.
Do you have a hero and why?
A hero to each of you and why?
Are we talking like baseball specific heroes?
Could be anybody.
I have a whole list of heroes. Do you want to hear them all?
Pick one.
Well,
Pick one and
no,
explain
I'm
why.
gonna pick 3. I'm gonna pick 3.
Agree to it.
Okay, number 1, my hero, my parents. First and foremost, always gonna be my parents. I think a lot of people in this room, just from the sense of community that I get sitting here and being here, you know, my parents allowed me the opportunity to follow my dream. They allowed me to play all the sports growing up. My parents were those parents that never missed games. The rare occasion me and my brother played on the same day, it was rock, paper, scissors to see who was going to whose game. And you know, being drafted late and it was hard for me to support myself through the minor leagues, and you know, my parents were there for me, supported me all the way through, and so they would be my first heroes. My baseball hero is Cal Ripken Jr. Yeah, that's my hero. I respect the guy who's willing to go out there and play every day, hurt, sore, indifferent, not feeling well, and what he was able to accomplish. I don't think we'll ever see someone break that record just because how the game is. the game, in my opinion, has turned to be a little soft. Guys don't feel well. They sit out. Their back's a little tight. They don't sit out. And Cal Ripken wasn't that guy. And my last hero is the armed forces. I'm a big pro-military guy, and just very thankful for everything they do. Give this opportunity to do what we love every day.
Chris,
Funny, he just took all my answers. My mom and dad, for sure, are on that list. I don't know what I'd do without them. I'm a child, and they've been there for me through everything. So I can't tell you how many hours they've driven and how many flights they've taken. I mean, shoot, even Jamie knows my parents really
Sweet
well.
Lou.
He's referred to as Sweet Lou in Toronto. He knows everybody there, but they're awesome. They're tremendous. Cal Ripken would be a guy for me in baseball. I think the armed forces are incredibly important for what we do, because without them, we wouldn't be able to play the game that we love. And I have one last one. Rich Gedman was the catcher for the Boston Red Sox in the mid '80s. Rich was my manager in indie ball for 6 out of my 7 years when I was there. And, he taught me how to be a pro. He taught me how to compete. He taught me how to deal with failure. Without him, I wouldn't be where I am today.
good answer. What's your name? Quinn, and you model the Greg's on Pink beautifully, I might add. Who's your hero, Quinn?
My mom.
Good answer.
Is your mom here?
Wow. No brownie points for that.
What's your question?
Who is the biggest ladies' man on the team?
Okay, I'm going to tell a funny story after you guys answer that question.
There are multiple answers to this question. Who is the most loved by women in Toronto? Is the guy sitting to my right. It's unbelievable. This guy's jawbone, let me tell you. Look at this thing. Look at that jawbone right there. He's a married man. Okay.
2 years too early.
Yeah. But I think the guy.
I love my wife.
Yeah, he does. She's so good.
The night's not over, though.
The guy that gets to be, as of recent, he can't be anymore, but Ryan Goins, it's Kate Pillar's right-hand man.
That's a beautiful man right there.
He just got locked up though, so anybody that was thinking that he's in a relationship on Facebook now.
And I'd also throw Marcus Stroman in that mix.
Oh yeah, the Stroh show, but that's like, yeah, that's assumed. You seen that guy's hair?
Okay. You guys remember JP Arancibia? I did a school visit with JP Arancibia in London, Ontario a couple of years back. And this young girl who must have been about 6 years old was standing up against the wall with apparently her teacher. And I said, does anybody have a question? The young girl raised her hand and said, JP, Mrs. Adams here is wondering if you're married. And her face just went beet red. It was fantastic. Does anybody here have a question? I'll come back over there in just a second. Oh, and by the way, if you do have to go to school or work tomorrow, it's not rude to get up and leave. You people have been fantastic. You don't have to stay if you don't want to. But we appreciate that you are.
Hey guys, so I just heard the question that you asked or answered a second ago there about your heroes. So you both said that your parents are heroes. So I only have one question. Whose dad would win their fight? Either yours or Earl Stroman?
Earl Stroman.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
But I give my dad a chance because he's a lot like me. He's a grinder. He's a scrapper. He's gonna find a way to win. So I'm gonna pick my dad.
I'm gonna go with Stroh's dad, because my dad's soft as a grape. He had an ear infection, and he picked me up from the airport. He rode home like this the whole time. Like that was gonna make him feel better. Yeah, Stroh's dad for sure.
All right, questions over here. Anybody? Young kids, before you go home, do you have a question? You're not so young, but I'll come over here anyway. Yeah, young at heart.
Roberto Osuna,
He's young.
What's the story with him? Is he the killer?
Where's this coming from?
I don't
Over
know
there.
where he is.
Right there.
Did Roberto Osuna kill somebody? No? Sorry, was that wrong? This is a Twitter-free zone, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry.
Not to my
Is
knowledge.
he, no, that's not the way. Is he the way he comes across? I mean, he comes out there, he's steel, he's cold.
That dude's a bad man. Have you seen him on the mound? He's like 13 years old and he's way more experienced than I am in the big league. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, for the way he is in the clubhouse and off the field, definitely a gentle giant, very soft-spoken, but like you said, this guy's mature beyond his years. He's as good as advertised, and we're extremely confident knowing that he's coming in the ninth inning, even as a 20-year-old in the big leagues.
If either one of you want a car deal out west, this is the man to deal with right here.
Hey guys, go buy some cars.
Yeah, or Star Ford.
Unbelievable. We were trying to promote all day.
Thanks for that. So honestly, I know you don't want to question your manager at all, but you can answer this one honestly. Is there a move, a lineup change, something that happened in the final series that maybe you think could have changed the outcome? Hindsight, I know it's 2020, but I'd just love to get an honest answer on that.
He's looking at me like I have to answer first. At the end of the day, and this is not to sound cliche or defend anybody, a series is a collection of moments, right? And you can sit back and take those moments and say, well, what if this or what if that 1,000 times over in a baseball game? And it's very easy to nitpick from the outside looking in. If I was the manager, would I do things differently, the same? I don't have the answer to that question because I'm focused on doing what I do, and then I get to look back the same way all of you do and say, well, I probably would have done this, or I would have done that, or I would have done this. But ultimately, our manager did one thing really well. He allowed us to be who we were. He allowed us to come together and be the group that we were. And more than anything else, I'll tell you, if there's a guy that I want to play for, it's a guy that has my back day in and day out, that I know believes in me. And whether or not he's making the best baseball-specific managerial choices, again, I don't know the answers to those questions because in the heat of the moment, I could say a bunch of different things and think a bunch of different things, but you know, you don't know how you're going to react to them unless you're really put in that situation, I think.
We have time for two more questions. So I can see, far side of the room, if you got one? Okay, I'm coming your way, and I'll come over there. I think that's our student reporter, am I? Okay, you get last question. Over here first. Thank you for your patience, people. This is a big room. Where was it here? Right here. Your name? I'm exhausted.
You should be. Sharp. So growing up, what team did you guys dream to be drafted by? Like little boys playing in the backyard, I'm going to play in the World Series. What was your dream team? And number two, how do you feel now when you face that team in Major League Baseball and you kind of go, haha, I made it?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, me, it was the Dodgers growing up in Los Angeles. It was always the Dodgers, never the Angels. Grew up going to the games there, and ever since I can remember, that was always the dream to step on that field and play in Dodger Stadium. Up until this point in my career, we haven't played the Dodgers. We do get an opportunity to play them next year in Toronto, which I'm looking forward to, but definitely would have loved to have been able to go back home and play in the stadium I've seen countless games in. I just look forward to that opportunity one day to go back to LA and play in the sacred grounds of Dodger Stadium.
Chris?
I grew up in Boston. I have two answers, I guess. I grew up in Boston, so obviously you want to play for the Red Sox growing up because you see the Green Monster and think all the legends that played there. But I was more of a baseball fan growing up than anything else, so I really understood what the New York Yankees meant to baseball. So, and as a way to like kind of jab at all my friends, in my high school yearbook I wrote, in the future we'll sign a $300 million contract with the New York Yankees, which didn't go over well, and you know, at the time, but
how's that going for you?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Me too.
At the time there were no $300 million contracts. At least I was right about where they were going. I didn't say I had to get one. But yeah, I mean, I I had the opportunity to play in Fenway for the first time and in Yankee Stadium for the first time this year. I think those are the two most meaningful, I guess, like deep-rooted series for me, and I just happened to rake against both those teams, so I got that going for me. But I hit a homer at Fenway this year. It was, even though we were down 10-1 when I hit it, it was pretty cool.
Kevin, what was your signing bonus in the 32nd round of the draft?
Half an iPhone. $1,000.
You know what my signing bonus was in Indie Ball?
How much was your signing bonus in Indie Ball?
I had to pay them to let me.
And that's why we're glad to have you here as a member of the Blue Jays. Okay, so last question goes to Nathaniel, who actually works for the local paper. So there might be 6 or 7 questions here, so bear with us.
Let's do it.
But let's go.
I'll cut it close. Just one question. Who or what inspired you as a child?
Who or what inspired you as a child? Kevin.
Oh, wow. Who or what inspired me? I guess that would probably be my parents, my brother. Just trying to do the right things, just trying to be a good person, do the right things, work hard, take care of my schoolwork, and you know, hopefully along the way I find my passion. And you know, I figured that out at a young age, that baseball is what I love to do. It was a game that, it's one of those games where you constantly fail at it, and when you succeed, you just want more and more and more, and that's what always drove me to want to play baseball. But it was always just, you know, follow my parents' lead. You know, they worked hard for everything they did, and they just taught me and my brother to be good people and do the right thing, and you know, ultimately it led me to find my passion.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could use the same answer as we did for the, you know, who are your heroes question. My parents, for sure. My grandfather, too, was really important on my dad's side. I mean, I was close with all my grandparents, but on my dad's side, he had served in the military, and he kind of was like, you know, the strong fist of the family, and loved me dearly, and I was very sad. Like, one of his big dreams was for me to play in the big leagues, and we always talked about, as I was growing up, my dad and I remember seeing how close he was with him, and it just, people that made me want to be a better person, I think, more than anything else, more than a better player, just be a better person, a better teammate, a better student, a better friend, a better son, all those things. And I think, you know, my grandfather had a lot to do with that, my parents for sure, and certainly I think some of your role models in the game can help you with that, and that's why it's important to have good ones too.
I'll tell you what inspires me. This country inspires me, and every time I step off a plane in one of the great provinces of this country, I feel grateful to be a part of this country. And with that, I probably speak for both of these gentlemen. We can't thank you guys enough for having us here in Fort McMurray, so thank you very much. How about a big round of applause for Kevin Pillar and Chris Colabell. Before we leave, I'd like to call upon Dutch Iannetti with the, in fact, true closing remarks. Unless the last time I saw Dutch, she was headed for the bathroom. Dutch, if you're anywhere near the podium, can you come on up here? You folks who were gracious enough to bid so high for the trips to Toronto/Seattle, you forgot your press passes from the ALDS. Come on up and pick them up too if you want them, or I'll just chuck them in the garbage. I just thought I'd throw those in as part of the package. Dutch Iannetti, one of the 3 owners of the team that has come to play this summer. Last word belongs to you.
I really don't know how I'm going to top this guy. and the rest of them all night. Jamie, Kevin, Chris, it's been awesome here hanging out with you guys yesterday, today. Unbelievable. You know, they broke the ice when they arrived in the airport. We're just normal guys, is what they said. As we could all see here tonight, they're just normal guys. Right? Big round of applause. Starting to stutter a little bit here now. But a lot of people here tonight. We need to thank Marcia. A lot of work put into it. Karen, Diane, Leslie, Steve Avila, Kubi, Kevin Kabami, President of the WNBL. Thank you for coming up. Thanks everybody for coming out tonight and supporting this event. Let's play ball.